Hello everyone! Welcome to Cherry Clips. Today I will be sharing a movie named Love You Forever. Lynn is a successful dancer. She catches sight of her name on a notebook by accident. The notebook is about a romantic story between her and a man named Jason. But it doesn't ring a bell to her at all. What happened? The time goes back to 20 years ago. When Jason was little, his mother passed away after years of torture from illness. Once Jason was bullied by other children. Lynn helped him out. They became good friends ever after. They usually hung around in an abandoned playground. Lynn accidentally dropped her marble into a pool. Jason jumped into the water without hesitation. There was a pocket watch shining on the bottom, so he picked it up. Lynn and Jason had so much fun together. They even had a secret code. Wolf, Wolf, what's the time?
那个夏天，我们不厌其烦地玩着那个游戏。
Unfortunately, Lynn moved away a few months later. Jason chased after her car for a long time in vain. He was so sad. Now, Lynn has become a famous dancer, and she's happily engaged with her boyfriend. They plan to settle down abroad and get married there. It's raining outside when Lynn is off work. An old man who works in the theater hands her an umbrella. Lynn thanks him politely. The old man walks away and stumbles on the stairs. He loses consciousness immediately. Lynn calls for an ambulance and accompanies him to the hospital. The nurse tells Lynn that the old man lives alone. She asks Lynn to go to his place and find out what medicine he takes. While Lynn looks around his house, she finds a notebook on his desk. It records all her habits and a story between her and Jason. In the notebook, Lynn transferred to a new high school. Jason passed by a window and saw her dancing. He was positive that this was his best friend when he was little. After class, he kept asking her if she remembered him. But Lynn was reluctant to admit that. Jason shouted out the secret code. Wolf, Wolf, what's the time? Lynn still ignored him. Jason went back home and found the watch. It just happened that he walked into Lynn on his way out. They rode to a shady grove. Lynn recollected her memory and reconnected with Jason. She stayed with her uncle after she left the village. She loved dancing and practiced very hard every day. The next day, Jason brought Lynn her plum-flavored water because he knew it was her favorite. Jason's friends played around. Jason ran away embarrassed. Back to reality. Lynn also finds the same plum-flavored water in the old man's room. This is weird because Lynn doesn't have a clue who Jason is. She has never met anyone named Jason. But she does enjoy plum-flavored water. And she does like the abandoned playground just as stated in the book. Lynn discusses this with her boyfriend, but he is not interested in this topic. The notebook also records how they celebrated Jason's birthday. Lynn bought him a present. They danced happily in the rain. Jason walked Lynn home later that day. He was too cowardly to confess his love to her. He walked away but turned back later, only to find that Lynn was hit by a car. Although Jason carried Lynn to the hospital immediately, it was too late to save her. The doctor declared death. Jason couldn't accept the fact. He cried like a baby. His tears dropped on the watch, and he fainted. When Jason woke up, he was much older. But Lynn showed up in front of him like a miracle. Lynn considered him a lunatic. She didn't know him at all. Jason went back home. Even his father couldn't recognize him. The fact was, he was totally erased from his life. It's like he never existed. Jason found his two best friends. He listed all their secrets, and gained their trust. After hearing what Jason had gone through, his friends believed it was all because of the watch. The watch reset time and sent Jason back before the accident happened. The process consumed a huge amount of energy, so Jason aged a lot. He prevented the accident and saved Lynn, but he was erased from the world. This was inconsistency with Einstein's theory. Jason quickly adapted to his new identity. He redesigned the overstocked jeans and resold them to the neighborhood. He won quite a fortune out of this business. Jason still cared about Lynn, even though he was a total stranger to her. Soon, he gained her affection because he knew everything about her. Lynn lost in a dancing contest. She was so depressed. It meant she couldn't get the scholarship and study dancing abroad. Jason pretended to be her teacher and paid Lynn's family a visit. He claimed that he applied for a scholarship on her behalf. All expenses would be covered when she studied in Italy. On one hand, Lynn doubted why he helped her so much, but on the other hand, she was very excited to go abroad. Back to now. Lynn finds Jason's two best friends. They both deny the presence of Jason. Lynn wants to prove that the story in the notebook is real. She repeats their secrets and habits as listed in the notebook. Their reaction confirms that Jason really exists. Lynn goes back to the playground. She wants to recall more details. As the story goes, Lynn landed in the airport and arrived in Italy. She was surprised to see that it was Jason who picked her up. Jason lived next door and took good care of her.
你搞什么鬼啊？我回家啊。拜拜。
One day, Jason had a fever. Lynn went to the medicine store late at night. Jason worried about her. He forced himself out of bed and found her in a dark alley. Lynn couldn't help kissing him. Since then, they have been together.
你跟他跑哪儿去了？
In order to make ends meet, Jason took on all kinds of jobs. They were busy loving and living. Every single day was the best of their lives. One day, Lynn was shopping with her classmates when she came across Jason. He argued with his boss because he refused to pay him. Lynn understood how hard it was for Jason. So she called the administration. She applied to work part-time and advance her scholarship. The school said there was no scholarship. She was self-paid. It turns out Jason lied to her. He paid the tuition with his savings all these years. They forgot about this because they cared about each other. Back to now. Lynn asks the doctor to inform her immediately when the old man wakes up. Then she remembers in the notebook Jason sold pancakes on a street stall. The owner of a pizza shop envied his good business. He gathered some friends and smashed his stall. Jason put on a fight with them. They ended up in the police station. Thanks to an old friend, Jason was bailed out. To show their gratitude, Lynn and Jason invited him to their home and had dinner together. The man happened to have some connection in Shanghai. He invited Lynn to go back and offered her a job there. Lynn analyzed the pros and cons with Jason. They decided to go back to China. Lynn got the job in Shanghai Ballet. It went smoothly. Lynn even proposed to Jason. Jason couldn't be happier in his life. On Lynn's debut in Shanghai Ballet, the stage collapsed. Lynn died. Jason blamed himself. If he didn't change his fate, Lynn wouldn't die. He rushed back home, packed all their good memories, and reset the watch again. Time went back. Jason was much older. Lynn forgot about him. It was all over again. Jason wanted to reconnect with Lynn, but she had a boyfriend already. She was a talented dancer and shined on the stage. It occurred to Jason, Lynn was better without him. So Jason decided to stay out of Lynn's life. Back to now. Lynn doesn't follow her boyfriend to America. She is determined to find out the truth. The second time Jason reset time, he went to his father's store. They had dinner and chatted like old neighbors. He didn't tell his father his identity. He felt sorry that he couldn't be there with him. Jason went to Italy and bought the pizza shop. He changed it into a Chinese restaurant. The business was getting better. But he was afraid that he might forget his life, so he started to write down everything in a notebook.
好让自己不要忘记，因为这是我的一生。
On Chinese New Year's Eve, he was in the restaurant by himself. Lynn walked in. Jason panicked and put the notebook in his pocket. She was here for a show. But the performance wasn't as good as expected, and she was thinking of hanging up her dancing shoes. Jason encouraged her to stick with it. She belonged to the stage. Later, they walked along the street. Jason gave her his jacket to keep her warm. Then he went back to the restaurant and fell asleep. When he woke up, Lynn was standing outside the restaurant. She learned about everything from the notebook. Lynn embraced Jason. Later, they were getting married. On their wedding day, all their friends and family members congratulated them. After comparing the handwriting of the notebook, Lynn is sure that they didn't get married. The last wedding part is written by Lynn. It's her dream of a happy ending. The truth is, she was robbed and killed on the street when she was heading to the wedding dress store. She was alive because Jason sacrificed himself again. The old man wakes up. Lynn whispers to him, "Wolf, Wolf, what's the time?" She knows the old man is Jason. He's always there for her. But Jason is too sick. For the first time, he dies first. Lynn finds the watch. She sprays her tears on it. This time, it's her turn to save him. Young Jason is back. He runs around the school and bumps into a girl. A notebook drops to the ground. When he picks up the notebook and hands it over to the girl, Lynn smiles. Okay, that's all for the movie. If you had a magical watch, would you sacrifice yourself for the one you love?